Namaskar. Aruna Shanbag. She was around 20 years old when she was working as a nurse in a hospital located in Mumbai and sexually assaulted by a ward boy. The incident which ruined her life completely because the kind of pain and anguishness, the kind of trauma she went through, she broke down herself and reached into coma. 37 years after this incident, a petition was filed in the apex court of our country in order to seek a certain amount of justice for the Aruna Shanbag. However, the petition by the Supreme Court was rejected, but a landmark judgment was delivered which decided the future course of euthanasia in India. The Supreme Court categorically mentioned that passive euthanasia is allowed but not the active euthanasia. You should keep in mind that Aruna Shanbag, she herself was not given any kind of euthanasia, but her case became the medium for rest of the country, and it decided that passive euthanasia can be permitted but not the active one. So why the active euthanasia was not permitted? Because in active euthanasia what happens that the doctor, he deliberately inserts a poisonous substance into the body of the patient, whereas in case of passive euthanasia, doctor does not take any kind of step like this, but what he does that he withdraws the life support system or ventilator or any equipment upon which the patient is surviving. So in one case doctor is actively participating, where he himself is inserting the poisonous substance into the patient's body, whereas in passive euthanasia the life support system is being withdrawn. So this passive euthanasia was permitted. Apart from this, in the passive euthanasia, the possibility of survival is very less, at least in comparison to the active euthanasia. So Supreme Court of India permitted this passive euthanasia where there was no any possibility of the patient's survival. And why active euthanasia was not permitted? Because if it were permitted by the Supreme Court, then it would generate some serious consequences for the medical fraternity, because they are working or they are finding some, you can say, wage so that they could treat to the people with their best effort, they could save their life. But if it were permitted, if active euthanasia were permitted, so they would think, oh, what is the need to unnecessary invest our hard work if it is already legalized by the government. or by the Supreme Court of India. So because it is not permitted, so it has provided a sort of scope for the medical fraternity, where they always try to find some ways where they can save the life of the patient. So this active euthanasia, which has not been permitted, it's you can say is a challenge, but this challenge I am saying in a positive sense, because this challenge for the doctors is pressurizing to find some ways to treat the people or to save the life of the individual. But in case of passive euthanasia, where there is no any possibility of his or her survival, so that's why it was permitted by the Supreme Court of India. And we all know that a life, a situation comes in someone's life where the life becomes more painful than the death. That's why only one way remains, that is the passive euthanasia. Thank you.